Sonos is back, head-banging into your room again with the latest Sonos Era 100. So in this video, I'll let you know the differences between the Sonos One and the Sonos Era 100 to help you make the right choice for your audio needs. Now, if you missed my unboxing of the Sonos Era 100, be sure to check it out at my IG and TikTok, which I'll leave links down in the description below. Now, I have to say that the design of the Era 100 has me all... It's like a cute little sturdy powerhouse, just a smidge taller and slimmer than its cousin, the Sonos One. And can we talk about the Sonos logo running in the middle? It's like a mind-bending magic trick, because if you tilt your head or even the speaker, it still reads Sonos the right way. Now behind the speaker there's a USB-C line in port, but yeah, do not mistaken this for a power port, yeah? No. Because here's where you can connect it with a separate USB-C to 3.5mm jack dongle to connect it with other analog devices. But keep in mind that you'll need to get the official Sonos dongle, so you can't get those random ones that you can find from places like Amazon, Shopee, Lazada or any other online stores. Then there's a physical mute button to engage the voice assistant microphone to ensure that Amazon Alexa is not listening to your world domination plans. Now, speaking of domination, Google has apparently changed their plans not to support this speaker, probably because they know that their smaller speakers sound like crap. Now, another thing to note is that the Ethernet port, yep, even on the Play One, is gone. Adios. Bye-bye. Unlike most previous Sonos speakers, but honestly, it never really bugged me. I mean, I never ever even used the Ethernet port on any of my Sonos speakers, even during my Sonos Play One days. And that confidence from Sonos comes in the form of Wi-Fi 6 support on the Era 100, so you're guaranteed to get the best possible wireless connection. Then up top, there's the play, pause, volume, previous and the next track control, as well as another voice services control for turning it on or off. Now the major difference is of course this indentation for the volume control. Now I had no issues with the previous Sonos One controls, but this was surely more useful than I thought it would be. It is just a simple thing, but for me it is quite ingenious because it surely elevates the experience of using this Sonos speaker, where you can just swipe through to get the exact volume that you want. Now the inside is where the real magic happens, because right now the woofer is 25% bigger than the Sonos One and there are two tweeters on the Era 100 instead of one. Well, how does it sound compared to the Sonos One and the Play One? Well, you will find out later on in this video. But how about connectivity then? Well, for Sonos, Wi-Fi has always been the name of the game since, according to them, it's better than using Bluetooth. And I would agree myself, because after reviewing a gazillion Sonos products, maybe not that many, but you get the point. I gotta say that I am head over heels for audio via Wi-Fi too. However, Sonos have seemed to throw a bone. Catch. To our Bluetooth-obsessed buddies to decide to include a Bluetooth 5.0 in the speaker. Now, Bluetooth 5.0 is not the latest and the shiniest versions of Bluetooth, but hey, it does get the job done for home use. So yes, if your friend's sister's brother-in-law's son's uncle's friend drop by your house for a party, it is definitely easier for them to connect through Bluetooth to play some tunes instead of giving them your super secret Wi-Fi password. Other than that, there's also AirPlay 2, Spotify Connect with voice control, either using Amazon Alexa as mentioned earlier, or even use Sonos Voice. And believe it or not, I only use Sonos Voice if I ever need to control the speaker with my voice. You know why? Because the voice actor is none other than the legendary Giancarlo Esposito, Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad, and Moff Gideon from Mandalorian himself. So who wouldn't want him commanding your audio experience, right? Now, also mentioned earlier was the non-existence of Google Assistant, and this is because of some reports of a patent legal battle between Google and Sonos, but who knows, once everything is A-OK, it might come back with an OTA update. Now, another thing worth mentioning is that Sonos has registered with Meta, but no devices has been officially supported yet. But do you know who you could officially support? Us at Adam Lobo TV. So do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't done so, and of course hit the like button if you are finding this video helpful and entertaining at the same time. Now, if you fancy reading a text version of this review or any other review, head on to our official website at www.adamlobo.tv and let's keep this conversation going on our Discord channel, whether it's all about things or how Mandalorian Season 3 was just meh, All the links will be in the description below. Now I'm dedicating this small section for TruePlay because if you're unfamiliar, it is Sonos' method of detecting the room surrounding the speaker so it can tune itself to give the best sound quality for your specific room or space. Now there are two modes right now. Quick tuning, where the speaker transmits tones from itself to detect the surroundings with a click of a button, or advanced tuning, where it gets a bit funny, where in case you do not know or not familiar, is where you'll need to wave your phone up and down and walk around the room while the speaker does its magic. Now TruePlay used to be an iPhone or an iPad exclusive, but right now it is also available for Android too. But wait, do not ditch your iPhone or iPad just yet, because I found that TruePlay on the iPhone or even on my iPad is actually more accurate at detecting the room and optimizing the sound. And that being said, I still think that is way better than quick tuning, which I did not find much of a difference when I was doing the tuning, to be honest. Now speaking of a room or space, I use this in the kitchen so I can listen to music or podcasts while preparing breakfast and dinner. And yes, real men cook. And a cook is not the same as a cooker. A cooker is a device. And men are not devices. What am I saying? Alright, so here's how I have been testing the speaker for a month. Now for my use case, I usually connect this via AirPlay 2, which I would say about 98% of the time, and the rest is the occasional Wi-Fi connection. Now because I've switched to Apple's HomeKit towards the end of last year, so I don't use Amazon at all, but just for fun, I like to hear Moff Gideon's voice, which works really well to play music of my choice, which I've got my Apple Music account linked. Now compared to the Sonos One, this speaker's upgraded woofer and the tweeter combo really hits the mark, where you notice a clearer high notes and some extra oomph in the bass department. So the result is a beefier sound that does not skimp on the high-end clarity. The audio is incredibly detailed, and that added punch from the bass creates a fuller sound stage across the spectrum. And while this is not the best way to present how each of the speakers sound, but here's a sound test anyway, so grab your best earbuds or headphones for the best experience. So yes, if you heard the Sonos One before and you're a fan of the warm natural sound of the speakers, but you do crave a little more bass, then this speaker would be the perfect match. And if you do own the Sonos One, a more sensible upgrade for sound quality might be to pair this with the Sonos Sub Mini, where you can check out my in-depth review of the Sonos Sub Mini at the card above. However, if you're looking to use the Sonos Era 100 to complete a surround sound setup for your Sonos Beam, for example, this could be a very viable option. Watching movies with a pair of this setup behind you would definitely give you a more immersive experience compared to the Sonos One due to the sound improvements as mentioned earlier. However, if you're planning to use the Sonos Era 100 as your rear surround speakers, the Bluetooth functionality could no longer be used. So my overall thoughts are this: the Sonos Era 100 is definitely worthwhile to get over the Sonos One if you haven't owned a Sonos One yet, as the Sonos Era 100 is just like a scrumptious audio speaker that is begging to be tasted. Now sure, with a price tag of 1,599 ringgit, it's not exactly pocket change, but with that extra 300 ringgit compared to the Sonos One, gets you a sweet symphony of sound improvements and those nifty Bluetooth capabilities. And speaking of Bluetooth, check out my review of the Sonos Move over here, and stay tuned for the Sonos Era 300 speakers, which I've got two, which you'll find out why in my next video.